back, YouTube, to another episode of Beekeepers Buzz Inside the Hive. Today we're going to be taking a look at those 5 hives. It's currently March the 9th. It's been about 3.5 weeks to 4 weeks since we've been in these hives. So come with us while we take a look, do a hive inspection, read some frames, and see what we can diagnose and see how our bees are looking. All right, guys, so we're here at hive number 1, getting ready to go through for our hive inspection. So you can tell a lot from a hive just by looking at the outside and seeing the activity. That's where you're going to look and see if you notice a lot of bees bringing in pollen off their in their pollen sacs. So, and it's definitely another way to see and make sure that there's still activity in the hive as well, especially if you're not able to go in it every day, but you are able to kind of see it from a distance. So the outside of your hive can tell you a lot about the bees. So what we're going to do is we're going to get these ladies smoked. We're going to break that propolis. All right, so we got our feeder in here still that we're going to go ahead and remove. And as you can tell, we didn't even put feed in here. We just ended up leaving these nukes alone and kind of letting them grow. So we'll start with this one. And nothing too worrisome, just them on that frame. Looks like getting ready to draw them out. So on this one, I see a lot of eggs, a lot of larvae. So this is a frame full of nothing but eggs and larvae and a little bit of capped brood. So that's good to see. Then again on this side, eggs, larvae, and some fresh capped brood. So frames like this, if you've seen Frank's video on how to find your queen, frames like this would be a good frame for you to keep an extra eye out on that queen, because there is freshly laid eggs, and they're standing right side up. They're not tilted or anything. That means that she was here within the last 24 hours. So just something to be aware of. So we had an empty frame here, frame full of eggs and a little bit of capped brood, but in a couple weeks that will all be capped brood. So we see some drones. We got a drone here. We got capped brood. We're getting pollen. If you look in here, we got some fresh pollen right here that they're bringing in. Some eggs and larvae. So far we are 3 in. And everything's looking good. Brood, eggs, larvae, so that looks great. The only thing that we haven't seen right now is capped honey. Or nectar, so we want to see either one of those. All right, and then again, capped brood. We do have a little bit of nectar and pollen. And then this side, capped brood. Eggs. Okay, we do have nectar, so they're bringing in some nectar. So we might be making the right call not feeding them right now. And then we are going to let this population grow before we start considering a mite count. Look, there's our queen right there running around. So we spotted her. Oh, look, a bunch of honey right here. So we did find some honey. So that's good. We saw our queen. We're seeing pollen, nectar, eggs, larvae, capped brood. So everything right now is pointing that this hive is doing well. We don't have any worries. It doesn't look like they're drawing out the rest of these frames very quickly, but we're seeing a lot of activity, a lot of nectar and pollen. So everything looks good here. These last 3 frames are still empty. Looks like they are still working on these. So we're going to bring our new frame that we're replacing our feeder with. We're going to bring it right back down here. And then again, just leave your box with evenly spaced frames so that way the bees are more prone to build that wax out evenly. All right, so there's Hive 1. No concerns here. Everything looked really good. We saw plenty of eggs, plenty of larvae. A couple things of capped brood, but she's working on it. And then we did see a frame or a half a frame of honey. So that's good. We're not going to feed this. We're not going to do a mite count right now. We're still waiting on that population to grow a little bit. So that might come maybe later on towards the summer when there is nothing blooming. We'll supplement feed. And then we will also put in a mite treatment for the summer. So that's hive number 1, and then now we're going to move right on over to hive number 2. All right, guys, we're here at hive number 2. Again, we're doing rinse and repeat, the same thing we did hive number 1. Just keep an eye out for any kind of red flags. So here we go. And again, we look at the entrance. We see some activity down here. The bees are coming and going. Not too many pollen that I see coming in right at this moment, but again, we'll take a look inside and see how we're looking. Just hit them a little bit of smoke. So we see some wax that they're building right here, top bars, then on the lid. So they're definitely producing some wax for sure. And then again, we got our feeder. So this one right off the bat, we got some cave comb is what I'm going to call it, just the comb where it's built up and the bees can go right underneath there. So it's not ideal, but I mean, it's not going to hurt anything being in the brood box. And it is an outside frame, so more than likely it will just be honey, and honey that I do not plan on taking from them. So we're not too worried about that right now. But first frame looks pretty good. And then again, as your bees are getting up here on the top bars, again, you want to make it as the least amount of stress on them as possible. So we're just going to hit them with a little bit of smoke to drive them down. So that way we are not crushing more than is needed. So just nice and gentle, because we haven't found the queen yet. We don't know where she is. And these ladies are really bringing in something. About 4 weeks and we got a huge thing of honey. And then comb like this, you can just take off, and then that's where that 5-gallon bucket comes in handy. Let's take that off and we'll put that in there and add to our wax collection for the end of the year. All right, and then, oh wow, great looking frame. Get a view from the head cam. Great looking frame of brood. Nice solid center. We do have some empties right here, but more than likely that's probably just brood that's already hatched out. And then we do have pollen on the outside and a little bit of honey, capped honey on the top corners. So great looking frame, huge thing of honey on the back side. I would say probably weighs about 5 pounds maybe. So definitely got some resources for them, and they're definitely bringing something in. So again, smoke them down. All right, so we do have a couple different things going on this frame, and then we're just going to kind of talk through it and see what we can see. So first and foremost, we do have eggs, we do have larvae, we do have capped brood. Now, as you notice, a lot of this in the center is missing, and that could definitely due to a recent hatch out of all that brood, and then backfilling with some eggs. And it looks exactly like what's going to happen. So we do have some raised drone brood, not that big of a deal. It is that time of year. And then we have something that could potentially be a queen cell. But as of right now, 2 frames in, it looks like our queen is doing all right. So we're going to just get rid of that. And again, over here. And we'll leave the drone brood. And then all this down here, again, this is just really preference of the beekeeper. If you want to keep it clean and tidy, we can go ahead and cut all that off, add it to our wax collection. But as of right now, we kind of want the population. And then the drone brood, not really too necessary, but for now we're just going to go ahead and leave it. And then keep in mind, as we're walking through this hive and moving these frames, we still have not spotted our queen. So we just want to be nice and gentle as we're kind of lifting these frames and putting them back in. So on this frame, I'm seeing eggs, I'm seeing pollen, capped brood, capped honey, different stages of the life cycle. That's good. And if I'm not mistaken, hive number 2 is the one that we did not mark a queen in. And I still have not seen her. And sometimes it might be worth the effort to go frame by frame and find her and mark her. But as of right now, our hive is looking great. No issues from the first 3 or 4 frames that we've done. So nothing really to worry about. All right, same story here. Great brood pattern, some recent hatch out. We got some backfill of eggs, different stages of the life cycle. Not seeing any queen on this frame. Oh, there she is. Oh, hive number 2 looks like the one that we did mark because she is green. So we did mark her, but we've seen her. It looks like she's doing all right according to all the brood patterns. So we just want to be nice and gentle with this frame. And then this looks like this could be the last frame because the other ones are still a little empty. So eggs, larvae, brood, plenty of bees, plenty of brood. Yep, this is a great hive. So hive number 2 is looking good. Hive number 1's looking good. These ones are all empty. Looks like they're still working on them. So just gonna smoke these girls down. Get our frames back over, and then get our feeder replacement back in there. As you're closing up your hive, just make sure that you leave them with even frame spacing. Just come back to this side, pry them out nicely, and then we'll throw this lid back on. All right, guys, so we just got done going through hive number 2. Everything looked great. We saw the queen, she was marked. Now we're on to hive number 3. Hive number 3, first immediate concerns is, 1, you got all this nastiness outside the hive, and we don't see any activity coming in or out of this hive. So very worrisome right off the bat. So we're gonna crack open this lid and fingers crossed, we still got bees in here. So again, a little bit of smoke at the entrance. I just go around. Oh, that slid right off. And looks like we have maggots and bees. Or no bees, just maggots and wax moths. So, right off the bat, we know this hive is dead. There's 0 bee activity at the entrance. There's 0 bee activity on the top bars. I see ants immediately. I see 2 wax moth larvae, and I am seeing hive beetle larvae right here. And with the larvae, you got this slickness that's going to look like a slime. So this is going to be a bummer, but we're going to go through it. We're going to take a look. And just based off the diagnosis that we know right now, we know that there was nothing but drone brood in here when we installed it. We didn't see a queen. We did see, I believe, multiple eggs in cells. So definitely indicated a laying worker. So first things first, my theory is all that drone brood hatched, and because drones do not sting, and the only thing they're really good for is help ventilating the hive and mating. there was no bees in here left to protect everything else, which gave an easy target to those hive beetles and then wax moths. So let's take a look through here. Let's look at the frames. We'll get this out of our bee yard so we're not contaminating anything. And then we got some wax moth larvae right here. We got their famous threading. Looks like a silk or a spider web. See what else we got going on. Oh yeah, so definitely signs of wax moths. You can tell by the threading and the spider web like thing there's an actual wax moth. If there's not an indicator at all, it would be the actual bug sitting in there. So this is what happens when wax moths get inside your hive. You'll definitely see this. If this was an isolated incident and there were still bees in here and we did see a frame like this, we'd immediately just go ahead and remove that frame, be extra cautious during the hive inspection to make sure that nothing else is hiding or potentially getting ready to take over. But because the whole hive is dead, there's nothing that we can do here. All we can do is scrape this off, maybe into our wax collection bucket, and then boil it down at the end of the season. Now, you see the sliminess here. That is going to be from your hive beetles. You know a hive beetle has taken hold of your frame when you start getting that slimy residue on here, and the clear indicator, the maggots crawling around inside the comb. So right now we're just going through this just for education and training purposes, because right now there's nothing you can do to this. It's just scrape it, pressure wash everything, and bring it down. But this is the misery that 3.5 weeks can cause if you are not on top of it and making corrections as needed. So hive number 3, we are in nuke season, so we're going to try to reach out and get another nuke put inside here, and then get back at it with hive number 3. But as of right now, wax moths galore, hive beetles, maggots, slime, and then just the bottom board itself. So all the wax cappings that they've eaten through. Yep, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna set this one outside the bee yard, and then we'll do some maintenance on this at a later time. So stand by, we'll go through hive number 4 and 5. All right guys, so here we are at hive number 4. Hive number 3 was depressing to say the least. So let's go through hive number 4 and hopefully we can have some better luck. So again, do we have some bees at the entrance? We do. We even see a little pollen right there. Put a little smoke there, let them know we're coming. And I like to put a little smoke in there, drive them down a little bit. And then again, look at this one, wax on the cover and on the top bars. So far, better than hive number 3 for sure. So again, we're going to remove this feeder. First side drawn out, looking good. All right, we got pollen, we got nectar, we got capped honey. So right off the bat, we're looking good. And we got a little bit of capped brood and some eggs there. All right, frame number 2. Got a lot of some drone brood down here, a lot of brood right here, some capped honey. Does look like we have a queen cell here. So again, as soon as we see something worrisome, we're going to flag it, and then that's just going to tell us that we need to pay extra close attention as we're working through here. It is spring, so it is swarm season as well, but as of right now, this hive doesn't look big enough to do a split or anything. So we just want to make sure that we are paying attention to make sure there are eggs, and hopefully if we can spot our queen, we can see her. So this first one, I see larvae. I do see an egg. And then this side, great brood pattern and honey. So everything looks good here. Even saw some eggs, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get rid of this. All right, frame number 3. Oh, there's our queen. Big green dot on her. So we're good there. We see her. We see eggs. We see larvae. We see capped brood. So she's doing what she's supposed to be doing. We got something that could be potentially a queen cell there. But let's go ahead and destroy that. And then again, the comb at the bottom, that's beekeeper preference. If you want to go ahead and scrape it off, you could. I'm just going to leave it for now. Then again, on this side, there she is again. Capped honey and brood. So far, so good. We spotted our queen, so extra cautious with that now. So that frame, we just want to make sure we're aware. And we got a little girl right here with some pollen on her legs. We got plenty of pollen down here. Larvae. Look at that pollen. You can see it in the right light. It reflects different colors, just different types of pollen that they're bringing in. So everything looks good there. Another thing that I'm noticing here, not so much with hive number 3, but in all the other hives, we haven't seen really that many hive beetles. So, again, great frame, and maybe it's because they're all preoccupied with the other hive. But yeah, so this one is looking good. Again, everything that we need to see that's looking normal. Plenty of capped brood, plenty of honey, plenty of pollen. And they're still working on drawing out these frames. All right, so hive number 4 looks good. Nothing worrisome in there, minus that queen cell. But we did put eyes on our queen. And then what we're gonna do here is just, yep, so there was something in that queen cell. So we just wanna make note of that for next hive inspection. Hopefully it won't be another 3.5 weeks, especially because it's springtime. So we really need to kind of stay on top of them. Because things could happen very quickly. So as of right now, hive number 4 looks great. Everything's going well. Same thing with 2 and 1. 3 we lost, and now we're going to take a look at 5, the hive that we're not going to do anything to. So let's go ahead over there. All right, so here we are, last hive of the day, hive number 5. The hive that's going all natural, so we're going to take a look in here and see what's going on. So again, at the entrance, we see some bees buzzing around, not a whole heck of a lot, but we do see some activity, no kind of gunk or wax cappings or anything like that at the entrance. So right off the bat, I'm not worried too much going into this hive, but we shall see. So we hit a little smoke, let them know we're coming. We'll crack this lid. All right, so seeing a couple hive beetles. That's all right, as long as nothing too crazy is happening in there. So first frame, we got nothing. I'm just gonna put this right here at the entrance for now. Second frame, oh, a bunch of hive beetles in this one. Look at all them. All those, there's a whole corner of hive beetles, so that's something to be worried about, especially because they don't got a lot of frames in here drawn out. So we just want to make note of that this one definitely had a lot of hive beetles, but as of right now, nothing seems like we need to worry. So that one looks good. Then that group of hive beetles. This one, drawing it out still. And nectar and honey. So looks good there, and still working on some frames. So that's frame number 2. Frame number 3. Well, we got eggs, we got larvae. We got some capped brood. The other ones could have just been hatched. Again, capped brood. Just gonna get rid of anything we don't like. Still no queen I haven't seen, but we are seeing eggs, so it looks good. Frame number 4. Eggs, larvae. Seeing some capped honey on here, a little bit of pollen. Not as much as the other ones, but we got plenty of eggs. So our queen is in here somewhere. And then frame number 5, and we'll see if we got anything after that. Again, eggs, larvae. Don't see any queen yet. But they are busy. You can tell by how fast they're moving. They are busy. And there's some pollen on this frame as well. So all signs point to we have a healthy hive here, but what we will monitor and keep an eye out for is that group of hive beetles. That was not a good see, but again, we're just letting nature play its course with this one. So looks like our 5 frame has not quite drawn out all the way, not compared to some of those other ones. But again, we haven't done anything to any of these hives. All of them have been just kind of working on what's available right now. As soon as we installed them, we didn't feed them. We have not treated them. We just kind of been letting them hang out in their boxes. As March is approaching right now, we have orange blossom getting ready to bloom, along with a couple other local plants. And hopefully our bees will be able to pull in some resources from that. All right, YouTube, so there is our March hive inspection. We're gonna try to squeeze one more in towards the end of March, so that way we can definitely take a look into these hives. And hive beetles right now are our #1 concern. As you saw, our weak colony ended up getting taken over by hive beetles, #3, so we're out that one. We're gonna reach out to some beekeepers in the area and see if we can get us another nuke installed and kind of pick up. But this is why it's important. Hive inspections, especially if you're new, every 7 to 10 days is what I recommend. It takes about 3 or 4 days for them to kind of start that queen cell, and then about 7 to 8 days for them to cap that queen cell. So if you're in there within that 7 to 10 day period, you're able to catch any kind of issue that may arise when it involves losing a queen. Maybe if we would have got a queen for hive #3 and installed her and then kept an eye out on those hive beetles, we might have been able to prevent that. But lessons learned, we'll adapt and overcome, and then we'll get us a new nuke for #3, and we'll restart her #3 version 2. Hive #5 was doing great. It had that patch of hive beetles in it that we're a little worried about, but again, we're not touching that one. That one, nature's taking its course. But as of right now, it's slow and steady. All signs point to a healthy hive. So hive #4, 2, and 1, I believe we saw queens in all 3 of them. All 3 of them were marked with a green dot. All of them looked happy and healthy. A lot of resources, a lot of capped honey, a lot of pollen, a lot of nectar, and a lot of brood. So that's what we're looking for this time of year. Now again, we're not going to mess with them. We're going to let them kind of collect from nature, bring those resources in, and then we usually start hitting our dearth here in Central Florida around June, definitely July time frame. We'll hit that summer dearth where the temperatures are just going to skyrocket. Our humidity will get really high. So at that point, we're going to put some feed on them for the summer, do a summer mite treatment. And before we do the summer mite treatment, we'll get a mite count, so because our population should be all right by then. So again, thanks for tuning in. Leave some comments below. Let us know if you've ever lost bees to hive beetles or wax moths, and the infamous just walking out to your hive and then all the bees are gone and no hive beetles or no wax moths. So make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe, follow us next month as we continue our journey with 5 hives. We'll see you then.